What's up YouTube? For today's video, with a full static ability Pokemon team. Now, there's only static on a few Pokemon, and it's an ability that's quite hard to control, I guess. So, there's a 30% chance when a opponent's Pokemon comes into contact with your Pokemon for static to activate, which paralyzes their Pokemon. So it was quite a difficult team to run in terms of me relying on luck, basically. But I had some you won't even believe these battles. That were crazy. Let's get into it. Let me see if you can guess what a static Pokemon is, and let me see if you can guess what some of my team are. Put it below in the comment section. We've got a random battle to start things off with here. We got a Gafire lead. So my first Pokemon is a Focus Sash Endeavor Nuzzling Toxel. Unfortunately, I never got a Paralyze, and I was going to go for Endeavor, and you wouldn't read about it, right? I actually misclicked and went for Nuzzle, so I ended up paralyzing them anyway, because I figured some moves are not going to come in contact with you, so I thought it'd be fun to have Nuzzle on there. So that was a bit of a disaster, but it's all good because we have got my physical Sweet Kiss substitute Static Raichu to the rescue. Now watch this, right? So we got the Gafire going for knockoff here. It's going to be breaking Raichu's the substitute. I'm not going to write you a love song, at least today. Maybe tomorrow, right? Maybe tomorrow I'll give you a real good one. Now this Raichu is max attack and max speed, adamant nature. We have also got the item Leftovers, and we've got Terra Fighting here. So I gave Gafire probably its first kiss ever, and we're going to get that confusion. So you can see what I'm trying to do here. I'm hoping the opponent will get paralyzed and, you know, have the parafusion happening at the same time if static gets activated. And then, you know, why they're confused and why they're paralyzed, I can go for a Focus Punch and hopefully not have my focus broken and then go for Focus Punch. So that's sort of the plan with this set. It's very, very gimmicky, but it was hard to get static to activate. You really had to, you either had to stall or come up with other strategies based around that. So I got a nice little Paralyze there, and I punched the Gafire and got some quality damage, but I needed another one to actually take this out. Now, in the meantime, I also had the move Wish for support, and I also had Leftovers too. So while the opponent was paralyzed or confused, I was actually able to do some recovery at the same time. So the Gafire is going to get paralyzed again, which is really cool. And Raichu, physical Raichu, only on PIMPNITE channel there with a Focus Punch, is going to take out the Gafire. So that's a very, very good start to the battle. We'll just pretend Toxel, that never happened. That Toxel set was an Endure, Flail, Endeavor, and Nuzzle, max speed, and Focus Sash and Static. Now, this is pretty funny. So out comes Amaretta. I don't know what that means. It might be the name for the Pokemon in a different language. Let me know if it is or not. I'm going to give it a kiss too. Now, I've got super effective Focus Punch. I thought I'm not probably going to be able to activate this unless I get a confusion or they go for like Tail Slap and then activate it, right? But they went for Bullet Seed. And Bullet Seed is a problem because Bullet Seed actually doesn't make contact at all. So there's never going to be, there's a 0% chance that static is going to activate. So I'm like, oh, I'm sure they would have gone for Tail Slap, you know, but maybe they guessed what my team was eventually after seeing the Raichu. I don't know, but it was kind of weird they didn't go for Tail Slap. They went for Bullet Seed instead. So that tells me they probably had maybe a little inkling of what I was doing. So I thought, all right, we'll go into Bellibolt, right? Most people never, ever, ever in their entire life will run a static Bellibolt. So I thought, all right, if they go for Bullet Seed again, it's gonna do nothing with Skill Link, right? So they probably have to go for Tail Slap, and I'm sure they've got it. Every Skill Link, you know, Cincina was going to have that. Now this Bellibolt set, let me look it up real quick. We have a Slack Off, Soak, Parabolic Charge, and Confuse Ray static set with a Big Root as an item. Max health, max special defense, defensive nature. So I'm going to try and be special defensive, and I want them to attack me or make contact. So we got a contacting move with static, which is awesome, right? So it's going to hit me another couple of times, which is cool. And I was wondering whether this was going to be a loaded dice or something like that. Usually they are, or sometimes they can even be King's Rock. I would never do that. So I got flinched, like, oh, damn, now I'm getting salty. So they got paralyzed there, which is really cool. And with the Soak and Parabolic Charge combination, I can hit them for super effective damage and get tons of health back. So my strategy was working like really, really well here. I just need to get one more Parabolic Charge off, which was my idea. But then I thought, nah, I'm going to be evil. I'm going to use Confuse Ray. So they got paralyzed that turn, and then it went for Confuse Ray. So I was trying to make them as salty as possible, like even at the cost of losing, right? That's me, right? I'd rather do all that stuff than win, right? I usually don't care about win or lose. I normally care about getting some salt, creating that salt. So we got some fresh salt there, and I finished them off with the Parabolic Charge. So that was really, really cool, right? I got to use my whole strategy with Bellibolt, and I got a little bit of added salt there with them hitting themselves for confusion. So that's 2 Pokemon down. This is going swimmingly so far. Now, oh, this was funny. So the next Pokemon I came out here is going to be Slowbro. Man, I said every single Slowbro except for the one I wanted, Gala. So they're going to go for Shell Sidearm, right? They credited me, and they got static. So I was like, yes, this is awesome, right? Because that makes contact. Now, this Bellibolt, I went for Soak here, right? So I turned the water type there with the Soak, and they had Black Sludge as their item. So Black Sludge, instead of healing them, actually hurt them. So I was laughing at that. Like, all I could have now is for them to, like, maybe for me to feint them with Confuse Ray. However, they're going to swap out, so they didn't like taking Black Sludge damage at all. I mean, I can't blame them. So I went for the Confuse Ray here on the Mousecada, which is good. That's nice. I think maybe I can get the Soak going, but they might counter it with Protein. It's not a great real matchup for me here unless I get a Slack off first. So I went for Slack Off in hopes that they would, hit themselves. However, they are going to go for the Flower Trick, not the Power Trick, and they're going to fake my Bellibolt. But still pretty good stuff there by Bellibolt. I got 2 statics activated. Just how tanky it was. Now, our next Pokemon is going to be a Zapdos. This is a physical Zapdos. It actually gets some decent physical moves, and we're running Choice Band on this, so I've at least got a little bit of damage that I can do. So we're going to swap out there into Slowbro, and it's going to take some reasonable damage there to Dual Wing Beat. So I'm able to hit that twice, which is nice. They've got the Black Sludge. This time it's actually healing them, not hurting them at all. So I went for Dual Wing Beat again, and that was going to be enough to take it out. No quick draw or anything, which is good. I didn't really want to take any damage from my Zapdos. So that's going to be the end of the Slowbro there. This is going really, really well. And this is a pretty competitive team too. So we got Sheefan coming out here. I don't know how to say that. And my Zapdos is locked into Dual Wing Beat. I thought, yeah, I'm going to go for that. A lot of the time, what Espartha will do, they'll run max health and max defense, and they'll rely on speed boost and Calm Mind and store power. With the EVs on this one was a bit different. They're just going to go for Illuminati Crash, and that's going to drop my special defense by 2. But watch this. They won the outspeed. There was a speed tie, and they took out my Zapdos. I'm like, oh, come on, bro. So I lost the speed tie. That really, really sucks. So Zapdos is down. I've got Electrode left. This is a PIMPNITE special. We got Focus Sash, Volt Switch, Taunt, Mirror Coat, and Explosion. So I'm like, all right. I'm going to go for Mirror Coat. I know they're going to do lots of damage here because I feel like Volt Switch probably wouldn't take them out. With the EVs I've got on Electrode, it's max attack and max speed with... I believe I've got Adamant on there. No, I wouldn't have Adamant. I'd have Naughty Nature. Naughty. It's very naughty of me not to remember that. So in comes Meowscarda. I'm going to go boom, and we're going to get some good damage there. Should do like half. And I was like, wow, they did a lot more. So Meowscarda almost faints. Very, very close. Now, the Meowscarda is going to go for Play Rough, and that's obviously going to miss, right? It's going to turn them into a Fairy type still. So I've got one more Pokeball left. I'm like, can I come back here? Or is it Ogre, right? We're going to get dropped by Meowscarda. It's going to hit really, really hard. It's going to crit me. What am I going to do? So I swapped in the Goat Ampharos. Now, this is a PIMPNITE special. It's a sweeping special set, and it works pretty nicely. So I didn't know whether they go for their flower trick or they go for Play Rough. I wasn't really sure. But I thought one thing, there's one Pokemon in the back after this. If I was to get around Meowscarda, I should be a grass type. That would be a good idea. Plus, in case they do go for that, at least it'll be resistant. Unfortunately, they went for Play Rough again, and I got an agility off here, which is good. So, with this Ampharos, it is going to be max speed and max special attack, modest nature. We got Power Herb, Meteor Beam, Thunder Bolt, agility, and Terra Blast Grass. So Ampharos has got a fat special attacking stat. So I thought after a Meteor Beam, this is going to be doing tons of damage. I kind of would have liked to save Meteor Beam for the last Pokemon, but I figured that I'd need the special attack boost a little bit more. So we're going to outspeed Meowscarada and finish it off there. Thank goodness Meteor Beam didn't miss or anything like that. So Meowscarada's down. One more Pokemon left. The last Pokemon was Vapor Wave, which was walking meme. So this is going to have its little boost of energy, but it's going to be special attacks. I'm like, all right, this is good. But I was thinking, I have to go for Thunderbolt here. I know they've got Terra Water because they didn't Terra there. I got a Paralyze. I'm like, what is this? I didn't even get a Static, and then they got Paralyzed on the same turn as they attack. Bro, that was so lucky. So Ampharos are going to finish him off with some Terra Grass up the arse, and that is the end of the battle. Wow, I was so lucky there, especially at the end, right? They definitely should have won that battle at the end there. So thank you for the battle, Reese, whoever you are. I know bro was salty after. I mean, I would have been salty too. Let's get on to battle number 2. If you're enjoying the videos, if you want to support the channel, click that like button right now. Leave me a comment there. Tell me how your day is. Tell me if you like any of these static Pokemon, or if you had the ability to buff static, what would you do? All right, our next battle here. This is a pretty crazy battle because they had some quite gimmicky Pokemon in the team preview. Right? I noticed they had some possible fear users, so I already know that their Grovyle was going to try and go for Flail. So I kept my Toxelite in hopes I could get around that, but it kind of got countered as well. So I went into Raichu. Now it's going to go for Endeavor here. So I thought maybe I can get my Static to activate against this, and then I can confuse it, and then I can go for Focus Punch, hopefully, right? So they're going to go for the Tech. Usually, sort of combination here they have. You can use it on any sort of fear Pokemon, like Detect, Endeavor, and then like Unburden and stuff like that. People like to run that. Not very often, of course, but usually with those fear strategies. So I mean, I know all the gimmicks, so I knew exactly what they were going to do from the start of this battle. So I'm going to go for the Focus Punch here in hopes they get not even attack me or try something else, but they're going to keep going for Endeavor. So I kept losing my focus here, in the hopes that I'll actually get them to paralyze them. I needed them to paralyze themselves, or I needed them to get confused or have a subtune up. So I kept going for Focus Punch. I'm like, what other move do they have? Maybe they got something else, but they just kept using Endeavor over and over again. I kept losing my focus. I'm like, I don't think I can actually beat this. I either need a sub up or I need something else going here. Maybe I should keep this again, right? Maybe for later on. So I tried like another time here, and they Vacuum Wave. I'm like, oh, okay. So they've got Endeavor and Vacuum Wave as a combination there. So sometimes you either have Quick Attack or Vacuum Wave. So it's like a fear strategy. So at this point, I thought, you know what? It's not working. That's a good counter to my set. Let's go and try something else. So I'm going to do a swap here into Zapdos. We've got Dual Wing Beat here, which will definitely counter the Focus Hatch, which let's say if they had full health anyway, I can counter that, but they've taken some damage already. So I've got that, and I thought, well, maybe I should use U-Turn instead. So I decided to go for U-Turn, just a Scout Out, and I could swap something else in there instead of being locked into Dual Wing Beat either. So that's not bad. I got rid of the Grovyle. Not that it really posed much of a problem because I knew what they were going to use before they even used it. So we're going to go into Toxel here, and they brought out Giratina. I'm like, sucks because I can't use anything against this. So I'm walled, right? Hard walled. Not that they know that at the moment, but maybe they sort of will guess what my strategy is eventually. So I paralyzed the Giratina. I thought that was going to be important anyway, and then they used Earth Spell. I was like, oh, that's good because my Electrode has Mirror Code. Plus, I've put Toxel on 1 health now. I might be able to bring that back in later on and Endeavor it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get rid of Toxel in this battle. So I know that I've sacked it off twice. I know what you're thinking, right? You've sacked Toxel off twice. Toxel was useless in both of these battles. It really was because I knew what Pokemon they had. They had some memes, but they had some sweat as well, like Giratina. So I thought, all right, we'll go into Electrode here. We'll go for Miracle, and they got paralyzed. I'm like, no, that's so lucky. So you know they'll go for Earth Power that turn. You know they were, and I would have fated it. So Giratina got off scot-free there. Now we're for Volt Switch, because I'm like, they're definitely not going to go for Earth Power. They're not even, they may even swap. So I went for Volt Switch, I swapped out. So the next Pokemon I'm going to bring in is going to be Bellibolt, right? Now, Bellibolt should be able to take this reasonably well, but I knew they weren't going to go for it, and they went for Shadow Force, so it was a mix set. So I was like, damn, that really, really sucks. That's the only bad thing about having, you know, paralysis with Miracle. It can actually happen. So at this stage, I outspeed the Giratina, which is interesting. I guess even with the paralysis, it's still too slow. And they hit me for a lot of damage there. Now, Bellibolt was in a pretty bad spot here. It couldn't do a lot of damage. I was walled. Giratina actually walled most of my team, so they had an overwhelming advantage over it. Plus, they had a ground-type move they could spam against. Every single one of my Pokemon was weak to electric, except for Zapdos, and that was it, right? So I was in a very, very bad spot here, and that was not even the worst, but they still had some really countering Pokemon left. So I'm thinking, how am I even going to stay in this battle? Like, they've got such an overwhelming advantage at the moment. They've seen my Miracoat. They know what I can do with it. Then they swapped in Ditto, which made things even worse. So as you know, Ditto can copy your stats, and then they can look at all my moves. So now they know exactly what my set is for Electrode. They can see that I've got Explosion. They can see that I've got Miracle. They know that I've got Taunt. I was going to go for Explosion. I thought maybe I'll just go for Volt Switch if they go for Miracle. But then they taunted me, so I was like, I went for Taunt on them too. So Ditto was a very, very good counter for this team. So they had Giratina to sponge every single move I have, and they had Ditto to see every single move I had on my team. So I was like, man, this is really hard. Like, how am I going to get around this? So now they're going to swap out their Ditto, and they're going to go into, what is this, Cramshell? Oh, it's a Honchkrow. So I'm like, all right, well, I went for Volt Switch. So not a bad effort there. And Miracoat won't do anything to them. So that's maybe why they swapped in. Maybe they expected me to go for, a Miracoat, why they went for like Volt Switch or something. Anyway, I swapped into Zapdos here. I've got the Choice Band, max attack and max speed. I'm going to outspeed and finish off the Honchkrow. So that's fine. That wasn't a problem. I worked around that really easy. But the Giratina and Ditto were very, very countering. So I was just wondering how I was going to get around them at all. Because I was looking at all my moves. I'm thinking, what can actually hit Giratina? You know, so then they brought in Snivy. I am the gimmicks master. I know what they're going to do here. I know they've got Focus Sash and Miracle. You can't fool me. I guess you could say I was the one that popularized these gimmicky sets. So there's no way I'm going to fall for them because I know exactly what it is. So they're going to go for the obvious Miracle there. And I knew that. So that's why I swapped. So now we've got Raichu, I've got Sub, I've got Sweet Kiss, I've got Focus Punch. So I thought, I don't think they're going to stay into this set, but they might bring in their Ditto to see what I'm going to do. Hopefully not, though. I was worried about Giratina swapping in. And then I was like, this is great, right? Because now they're going to see exactly what my set is, and they're just going to swap in Giratina instantly because they know I've only got one physical move, which is a Focus Punch. And then they avoided the Sweet Kiss, which sucks too, because then I could have got a Sub up. I might have been able to go for Focus Punch. So I thought, all right, let's go for this Focus Punch combination. They tightened their focus on my Raichu. I'm like, no. So I tightened my focus too. So I was like, all right, well, I should just be able to live this one. And, you know, I might be able to go for it again. So they Focus Punch, and then they critted me. I'm like, come on. Like, nothing is going my way. This is like night and day compared to the last battle. So I'm like, all right. How do I have to get rid of this Ditto. So I went into Zapdos here. I thought, well, if I go for U-turn again, that'll do some good damage. I could go for that, or I could go for Dual Wing Beat expecting a swap. So they're going to swap out and go into Giratina. Giratina really didn't do, like, it hit pretty hard with Shadow Force and had Earth Power, and I just couldn't do damage to it. I could have gone for Brave Bird there, but I had to conserve my Zapdos, you know. It was really... It was a great mid to late game damaging Pokemon. Did some great damage there. So I'm going to go into Ampharos. This was really and truly my only answer to get around Giratina at all. I thought if I go Terra Grass here and they go Earth Power, I'll go Meteor Beam, boost my special attack, do a ton of damage, and then I'll just finish them off right. I know that I've got a Snivy of Mirror Coat, but that's easy to work around. I don't care if I have to swap out afterwards, right? Meteor Beam misses. I'm like, no, you've had everything go your way so far. They've had such great luck. So now they know to swap out here because they already can guess what my Air Frost set is. They know I've got Terra Grass. They know I've got an Electric move. They know I have to use Meteor Beam again to take out Giratina. So they can freely swap into Snivy, completely undeserved Mirror Coat. So I'm going to use Meteor Beam. I'm forced to use that. I couldn't swap out. Obviously, they're going to have their Focus Sash, and they can just use Mirror Coat here. So things are just going badly wrong. Like, and I'm not even playing bad. It's just, unfortunately, they're getting all the RNG so far. So I'm like, all right, I've lost my best Pokemon for this situation. I've got Electrode left, which is virtually useless. They know I've only got Explosion and Volt Switch. What do I do? So I was like, all right, firstly, let's go for Volt Switch. Let's take out the Snivy, which was never really a threat anyway, except for getting great luck. So that's the end of Snivy. So there's a Ditto left and there's a Giratina. So I thought, if I go into Zapdos, at least I can do some damage to one of them. Now they're going to go into Ditto. I was like, all right, well, if I was them, I would go for Supercell Slam. But I'm not in a position where I can do that quite easily. Like, I don't have an expendable Giratina. I can just keep swapping in all the time. So I thought, let's do a swap and we'll go into Electro. Maybe they'll miss, you know. Maybe I'll get a slither of luck in this battle for once. But it didn't happen. So that's a 3-hit KO. Now, I've got Volt Switch, I've got Taunt, I've got Mirror Coat, and I've got Explosion. I'm like, if I go Explosion here, it's probably not going to do that much damage, and they're going to keep attacking me. So I was like, all right, let's go Volt Switch. So I'm going to go Volt Switch. I did good damage. I had to weaken the Ditto a little bit. I had to make sure I could one-shot them. So I swapped out there. I went back into my Zapdos. So this Zapdos, as you know, is Choice Banded. Like, if I go for the Choice Banded Supercell Slam, that should be enough now to take it out. And it did. So that's the end of the Ditto. But unfortunately, it was a little bit too late. Now they've got their easy and clean counter, which is Giratina. I'm locked into Supercell Slam, which is going to do nothing. I have to swap into the Electrode. So I thought, at this point, they're probably just going to go for Shadow Force again. That's easy. They don't have to work for that. They can just use, or Dragon, whatever move they've got there, they don't have to do anything. So they're just going to go for Shadow Force. I was like, well, I can't do anything. Let's go Boom, right? So we're going to go Explosion. I hope that Giratina felt that one in the void. And we got 50 seconds of the battle left. I thought, you know what? The great thing would be here if I got a Paralyze on Giratina. I absolutely deserve a Paralyze here. If I went Brave Bird, they got Paralyzed. So I went for Brave Bird, my strongest move. Great damage there. And I got some recall damage, and they got not a single stroke of bad luck that entire battle. Like, can you believe that? So I guess that was the game paying me back for the walking meme before. So I'm so salty by that last battle, I've got to rehydrate myself with some G Fuel. G Fuel is a fire-ass drink. It'll give you all the energy that you could ever want in your lifetime. There's a bunch of different flavors, which is awesome. A couple of my favorites are Peach Ring, Pac-Man, the Stimulant, the Sage Mode, Naruto. There's also Hydrations. There's so many flavors to pick from. Get it right now, people. You can use code SALT for 20% off. Link in the description. If you miss the salt, it is not my fault. Let's get on to the next battle. All right, we've got the next battle here. This one is against Atla, and this was an interesting battle. Now, they only brought 3 Pokemon. Maybe they looked at my team and thought, well, this team's weak. You know, I'm pretty confident I can win. I was like, all right, you know, I'll see it out. I'll see what happens. So they're going to go for their little flip turn combination with their Palafin. And, of course, Toxel has got the Focus Sash. But for a nice little cherry on the top there, we got a static finally with top. At last it happens. I was like, yes, I can finally do Endeavor, you know. It's finally going to happen. So out goes the little dolphin. And we got Terrello. I don't know if these are names or a theme team, so if anyone can like identify these, let me know. So they brought in Garchomp and it rough skinned me, but it's neither here or there because I put Garchomp on 1 health. So now we're gonna bring in Zapdos. So Zapdos, I was like, well, I can go for U-turn here. I can, finish that off. That'll be really, really good. And then I'll use Zapdos against the Palafin when it comes in. So I went for U-turn and it missed. I was like, what? It's got a Bright Powder. It's got Bright Powder and Rock Tomb. I'm like, oh, that's bullshit. So I got a speed drop here, right? That Rock Tomb did a fair bit of damage. They actually landed 2 Rock Tombs, almost taking me out, dropping my speed to nothing. And obviously with U-turn, right, I'm going to finish myself off with Rough Skin. So that Garchomp was like an absolute troll. I'd have been actually... Generally, I would have been even more salty if that next attack actually missed. They had Laxative Incense or Bright Powder. Now, the next Pokemon we're going to slide in here is going to be Electrode. I tried to be fair, right? I was like, I'm going to try and only use 3 Pokemon too and see what happens. So the last next Pokemon is going to be Cheese Strings. You know that in the store you get them cheese and you pull them down the sides and they're little strings. And they're going to go for a nasty plot. Like, oh, hell no. So I have to go for Mirror Coat again. What can I do, right? Now they're going to go for Psychic. Nasty Plot Psychic is going to put Electrode down to 1 HP easy. And we can get a free and easy Mirror Coat KO on Goldengo. No Focus Sash, no Troll items or nothing. All that's left now is the Dolphin, right? And we know that it's paralyzed. I thought maybe they'll go for Jet Punch, and finish me off. That'd be fine, right? I was thinking I'll go Explosion here or Volt Switch. I decided to go for Explosion. They didn't have Jet Punch or didn't go for it. And Electrode is going to do a reasonable amount of damage there. Palafin's got some amazing bulk, and Electrode's attack is, well, it's arse. Let's be real. So I've got one more Pokemon to bring in here. They use Aqua Tail instead. Nice. So this was actually pretty funny, right? So I thought, I'm going to finish them off with my physical Focus Punch Raichu. They're already paralyzed. All I've got to do is kiss the Dolphin and hope that nothing bad happens, right? And then go for Focus Punch. However, they're going to go for a Terra, which is fine. They're only bringing 3 Pokemon. And they've got that Terra Fighting. So I was like, ooh, that's interesting. Maybe they've got Drain Punch or something. So we're going to kiss the Dolphin there. We've got a Parafusion going quite nicely. And I'm hoping I can get my Focus Punch to finish it off. So we got them chickens floating around. We're hoping for a Confusion hit. And it got paralyzed. I'm like, all right, that's okay. I thought about going for Substitute here. I thought, maybe that'll be a good idea. And then try that. So I went for the sub to try and get the dub. You got to do what you got to do, right? And the Palafin's still confused. So I'm hoping that it doesn't attack this turn and break my sub. But it went for Aura Sphere. I'm like, what is this? It's a mixed Palafin. So props. I'll give them props to that. I never expected special Aura Sphere Palafin. That was really cool. And they broke my sub. So I'm like, damn. Like, you know what? You gotta fighting. We're fighting, right? So I'm thinking, all right, if I go for Terra Fighting, let's be real, I'm probably going to get 1 Focus Punch off here, if I'm lucky, right? Because my luck had been pretty bad with it so far. The opponent would get paralyzed 1 turn, and then I'd set the sub up, and then they continually attack me. Stuff like that happened all the time. So I'm going to go for Terra Fighting, straight up raw, right? Hoping that they hit themselves or get paralyzed. And they didn't step out of Confusion, which was good. And that was really good because they hit themselves in Confusion, and I got to hit them with a full Terra Fighting Focus Punch. And with such little health left, Palafin is going to go down. And that is the end of the battle. So thank you to my random opponent for the battle. I hope you I did like your mixed Palafin set. That was really, really cool. Atla, I don't know. For anyone that ever battles me, please let me know in the comment section. Also like to know if I battle you or not. All right, let's go to the next battle. This is a battle against Journey, and we have a Grimmsnarl lead. I've never seen one of these in my life. So we got a Grimmsnarl lead here. Very rare, very, something you never see. We got Endeavor and we got Nuzzle. So I thought maybe if it's got a physical contacting move, I can get a static. But first things first, let's go for Endeavor. Now, there are a couple of special moves that are physical contacting, like Draining Kiss. That's one that can be, if that's used against you, you still have a chance, that 30% chance of getting static off. There are a couple, but they're few and far, right? There's very, very little. Like Pedal Dance, that's another one. There's a couple of them, but very, very few. So at this stage, I was thinking, I don't really want to swap here at all. I'm going to sort of wait for the screens to run out, and maybe I can get some damage on this thing. So it's going to set up Reflect and Light Screen, which, took me by surprise. So I'm going to go for Flail here. I did a wow. Oh, that was a crit. Oh, shit. So I got a crit there. It didn't do too much, of course. And Grimstar I'm going to swap out. You know, obviously Toxel was very, very menacing, you know, extremely scary. Now they brought in the unit Qingling. Now, Qingling, typically if you see a Qingling, it'll run a bulky set, right? It'll run a Cosmic Power set. Now, it gets both Cosmic Power and Stored Power, and it can have Everlight as well. So if you see that and you think, oh, I'll just let this thing set up for a turn, don't let it set up, because it's actually very, very tanky. And it also has ways to heal itself and recover too. It actually learns recover. I believe that I've done a Qingling set. Like, I think that I've done a Qingling sweep, actually. I'm pretty sure. I know that I've done a Chimecho one, but it's hard to remember. I've done so many Pokemon things, right? So we're going to bring in the Electrode. We're going to give it a good taunt, and that's going to be nice, right? I've got Explosion here, and I've got... I had Mirror Coat, but... You know, with the taunt, I knew they were going to attack me, you know, sooner or later. So I went for Explosion, and as expected, that did 2 damage. Like, Electrode's got terrible attack, and Qingling had multiple Cosmic Powers up, you know. So Stored Power is going to be locked into using that for a bit. I'd imagine it's got... And it also had the Reflect on top of that, too, so I was doing nothing. So bringing in Toxel seemed like a pretty good idea here. I had Endeavor, I had Nuzzle, I could do that. I also had Endure too. I thought if I go Endure and the Endeavor, that'll be a really good combination. And then hopefully the taunt won't wear off then. So here comes the Stored Power. Toxel is on 1 HP. That's perfect, right? That's absolutely perfect. So the taunt is gone. But I thought even if they try using Recover here, I've got Endeavor. They're going to have to attack me eventually, right? So I put the Qingling on 1 health. They're going to go for Stored Power. I guess they didn't realize that I'll have a move that would do so much damage. So, you know, Endeavor bypasses all the boosts and everything. That's what's really good about it. So the Reflect and Light Screen are all gone. So we know once I finish off the Qingling that the homie Grimmsnarl is coming back in to set them up. So I'm going to go for a quick U-turn here. I don't feel there's much point going for... You know, Dual Wing Beat or Brave Bird or anything like that. I don't think I'm going to do much to Grimmsnarl, and I'll probably just expend HP. So we're going to go into Raichu here. Now, in comes the Grimmsnarl again. I'm hoping, actually, they'd set up a light screen. Not expecting a physical set. So I thought, let's go for Focus Punch, like straight up raw, you know. And then I'll go for a light screen, and then I can feint them, right? That was the idea. So they went for light screen. So this was going beautifully. So I knew they'd do that, expecting, I don't know, Thunderbolt or, you know, whatever, Volt Switch. And Grimmsnarl lived on 1 health. I'm like, come on, that's so lucky. So, then they swapped it out. I thought they may set up Reflect again, but I just went for the same attacking move. So the next Pokemon to come out is going to be Drifloon. I was like, oh, nah. So they actually swapped it into an electric type too. So I'm assuming they thought that I just had Focus Punch as my attacking move, which is, you know, probably a pretty good guess at seeing after what this kind of team is. So the Drifloon is going to have Flame Orb as its item, which has got Flare Boost. That's going to boost up its special attack. Sweet Kiss misses, and then they're going to go for a Trick. I'm like, oh no, that's bad. That's really, really bad. So the Drifloon burned itself, activated its ability, got a serving of leftovers, and I got a serving of salt because I got Flame Orb. Like, that's just cruel. So my Raichu is now burned here, so it is more than useless. It's ready to get released. So before I actually just sack this thing off completely or swap it out, I'm going to go for a Sweet Kiss and at least get a Confusion on Drifloon. That was really all I could do in this situation. So Drifloon actually hits itself a Confusion, which is cool, and it's going to get hit by the burn, but it's got leftovers anyway, so it's not going to make a lot of difference to its health or anything like that. Raichu's going to take some burn damage at the same time, but you know, I don't have my leftovers anymore, which was you know, complete sadness. I think I need another drink of G Fuel again. I'm getting thirsty. So I'm going to swap out the Raichu. Take a drink of G Fuel, sorry. Get that code SALT, 20% off. And swap in Zapdos. So Zapdos can easily beat this, right? Now, it's going to go for Minimize. I'm like, oh, hell nah. So they're going to try and swap. They're going to try and Baton Pass this away, or they're just going to try and make this really evasive and then hit me with tons of damage, like Shadow Balls and stuff like that. I got to stop her, right? I have to stop it. So I've got Dual Wing Beat, and I've got Supercell Slam and Brave Bird. Now I thought, let's go Brave Bird, right? Brave Bird is going to connect, and that's going to get dropped. So they didn't have any, like, real bulk to that set at all, you know? It's not like... I mean, if Chingling somehow passed its boost on, that could have been really, really bad. So we've got a Sudowoodo called hotdogs.com. Now, I don't know if you ever remember this video, but you know how you got all those... This was back in Sword and Shield days. I mean, to be fair, it's still happening now. Back then, you know how you got all those .com Pokemon? I poked fun at all those websites, and I made a Pokemon called hotdogs.com. And I actually got someone, and I gave it a sausage to hold, a packet of sausages to hold. And then I actually made someone rage quit from those packet of sausages. So you should definitely check that video out. It was back in the Sword and Shield days. So it was an Entei. I called it hotdogs.com. That brings back memories. Anyway, we're gonna water the plant, and it's gonna go for Double Edge. So this is a nice juicy static. At last, I finally got one, and we're trying to get that to happen. I thought if I go Soak, if I go Parabolic Charge, this will be pretty good, right? But this Sudowoodo was thick, real thick. So it was an Assault Vest set, and it also had Rock Head too. So it wasn't doing any recall damage with its moves. If you notice, it used Double Edge and stuff like that. It never took any recall, so I knew what it was going to have. Like, that's a good ability for sure. I'm still waiting for a couple of other Pokemon to get Rock Head. One in particular I'd love to see get Rock Head would be Rampardo, so then you could freely spam Head Smash. So we've got a Terra Grass. The Terra Grass is going to be a pretty good counter for my Bellibolt. Very good counter, actually, because I cannot use Soak on him. So I've only got Parabolic Charge to do, like, minimum damage. So here comes Wood Hammer, which does a lot of damage. That's a clean 3-hit KO, you know, at all. And I don't really want to swap out. So I thought, let's go for Confuse Ray. I might be able to get it to hit itself for Confusion, and then I might be able to wear it down with Parabolic Charge, hopefully. And there's a little bit of a chance that could happen. So I'm hoping for a Confusion, but we get a Paralyze instead. I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. I've got Parafusion going from the static. I can now go for... I was thinking about doing Terra Electric for some more damage. I thought, I don't think so. We'll just do a swap and go into something else and save the Bellibolt. I might be able to get another static. So I went into Zapdos. Since I've got all these flying moves, I may as well take good use of them. And I resist the Wood Hammer, right? And they get paralyzed again. I'm sure they were going to go for Wood Hammer again with Terra Grass, right? So I've got Dual Wing Beat and I've got Brave Bird. I thought Dual Wing Beat wasn't a bad idea in case there's any, there's any Focus Sash, Pokemon, and Troll items. Dual Wing Beat actually missed there. I'm like, are you serious? That's the only thing about Dual Wing Beat. It can miss some really important moments. So they got paralyzed again. You know they'll go for Head Smash. So thank goodness I had the static going. So now they swapped out the Sudowoodo after all this time. And we're going to have another swap into Quillfish. Okay, normal Quillfish. Like, all right. I mean, I am locked into this, so I can't go for an electric move, and it intimidated me as well. But I still did pretty good damage. I did enough damage to actually two-shot that, and it swapped in too. So I went for Dual Wing Beat, and it missed again. I'm like, come on, it's so lucky. So now they're going to go for Destiny Bond here. I was like, I'm ready just to sack this Zapdos. I'm really just ready to sack this Zapdos right now. To get rid of it, it was making me so salty. So I swapped out the Zapdos. They went for Destiny Bomb, right? I didn't want to lose it yet, just in case I needed it. So I thought this might be a good opportunity to go into Ampharos, right? Now they're going to go for Toxic. So they've got Toxic and they've got Destiny Bomb, which is interesting. Interesting move for Quillfish to actually have. So Ampharos now is on borrowed time. It needs to get some good damage. I've got Thunderbolt and I've got Agility. So I thought, I guess I could just feint this, or I could get Meteor Beam up here. Let's get Meteor Beam up. Now they're going to swap. I thought they may try the Destiny Bomb there, but they didn't. I was like, okay, that's cool. In comes the Sudowoodo, the Terra Grass one. I went for Meteor Beam. Obviously, they were expecting an electric-type move there, which was a good play, but, it doesn't have a lot of health left, and I wasn't just going to go for Thunderbolt because I wanted to boost my special attack. So Meteor Beam doesn't miss, which is good, and that is the end of the hot dog. I guess Sudowoodo does look like a hot dog. You got it's like a bun. The bun and then the mustard on it. It actually kind of looks like one. So now we got the Grimmsnarl coming back in here on 1 HP. Clearly they're going to go for light screen here. But, you know, they're on 1 health, so it doesn't matter. So I thought maybe I could go Meteor Beam here. Maybe I could do that and boost my special attack. Or I could go Agility. Because I know what they're going to do, and I'm not really worried about Reflect too much. I mean, maybe for my Zapdos, that's about it. But they went for Reflect instead. So clearly they were more worried about my Zapdos. So I just went, in the end, I just went for Terra Blast, Terra Blast normal, do a bit of disrespect there, and I took him out. So we had a Quillfish left and 1 other Pokemon. I don't think, oh, this is called, this is a Kricketune. Right, so Delhi Whoop is going to come in here. I've got Meteor Beam. And I'm thinking here, well, Thunderbolt's still going to do a lot of damage to it. I'm at +1. Let's just go for that. So I'm going to outspeed with those amazing speed EVs. And that is the end of Kricketune called Oh Yeah. I guess that's what it does after it does its big Delhi Whoop noise. So Quillfish is the last Pokemon here. I've got Thunderbolt. It's like, let's go for Thunderbolt and finish this off. They really only have that. I don't think it's got any forms of recovery or anything. And they outsped me. So like, okay, so that's going to fake the Ampharos. But it's also definitely going to fake the Quillfish too, unless it's got a troll item. So bye-bye Quillfish and bye-bye Ampharos on the very, very same turn. I still had Bellibolt and Zapdos in the back too, which was perfectly fine. I need a drink again. I'm sorry, my voice is getting, my throat's really, really dry today. I don't know why. Might be the weather or something like that. Let's get on to the next battle. Also, this is the last battle too. This is a battle against Wheeljax, and we have a Milotic lead. Now, I had some good fun against this team. I did some very, very scummy static. So I thought, I don't know if this is special or it's physical. I could go Volt Switch, get some free damage. I could go Explosion and do 2 damage, or I could Taunt it. However, this was a physical Milotic with Scale Shot. So it's going to be trying to increase its speed there. So it's going to get a defensive drop and boosting its speed. So I thought, oh, this might be good for Explosion, you know. However, my Mirror Coat's going to fail. I didn't know what it was going to use anyway. So now it's going to have Triple Axe on my, hopefully Static activates. And it does on the very first Axle. So I was very happy about that. That is the second one, and that is also the third one, which was good. So we got a Static, so that's always good. I went for Volt Switch here because that was probably the best move to go. I reckon that probably still would have done more than Explosion. So swapping out the Electrode, now we've got a Paralyze. I thought, ooh, we might be able to get Raichu working here. We've got a negative defense. All I got to do is give Milotic a Sweet Kiss or a Wish combination or sub. I can get that going. However, Milotic's got to swap out. They don't want any of that at all. And now we've got Hydrapple coming in. So I have no idea what sort of Hydrapple set this is, but I'm going to give it a kiss, right? I kiss the apple, you know, kiss the apple. What is like a toffee apple? The toffee apple, whatever it is. So I've got Focus Punch. So I decided to go for Focus Punch. Like maybe I can get a lucky confusion here, or maybe they go for a status move. Who knows? So the Hydrapple's got them chickens floating around its head, and it's going to hit itself. I'm like, yes, this is good. So I got a Focus Punch off here. I definitely didn't expect it to faint, no way. And it's a 3-hit KO. So I'm going to need some. I'm going to need to do that again 2 more times. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just go for it again. Let's see what's going to happen. I really needed a static. Like static and confusion was my best way to get this to happen, right? So the Hydrapple was confused, and it's going to Sucker Punch me. It's a physical set, and I got a static with Raichu. I was like, yes, this is really, really good, right? So I've got 2 statics, like 2 out of 2 Pokemon. Unfortunately, I lost my focus, but that's fine. I needed that Paralyze. I can always kiss the toffee apple again and then go for Focus Punch, right? That's going to be my plan. So I thought this time I'm going to do a bit more trolling. Let's go for the substitute. So if it does use Sucker Punch or it does use a physical move or anything like that, at least it won't hit me. And then Power Whip is going to miss. So that was lucky that I didn't lose my sub there. So I can freely go for a Focus Punch here and not have to worry about getting hit. And if it doesn't attack this turn, I can use another one. I can just keep using it, right, till I till I faint or whatever. So Hydrapple is going to snap out of confusion but get paralyzed. So I guess it was using Sucker Punch because they'd outsped me. And then I went for Focus Punch here again. I was hoping that I could get maybe one more off and, you know, defake that. So I was on a low amount of health. I still had my sub shoot. I had leftovers. So this is really good. So even if it does break my sub here, I know that I've got the Focus Punch. I know that I can fake this. Now the Hydrapple's got to swap out. Obviously not wanting to lose that. And we got Luminion coming in here. Like, oh, another Pokemon to paralyze. So I was hoping, is this a physical set? So we're going to go for Focus Punch anyway. We're going to see how much damage we can knock into the flying fish, you know. So here it comes. And it did pretty good damage because I got a crit. But I was looking at that, I'm like, well, I still think that might have been a 2-hit KO regardless of crit or not. But I had a substitute up anyway, so I thought I may as well, you know, make use of that. Luminion also had leftovers. So maybe it could have lived I don't know, it would have been pretty close. Maybe it could have lived another one really badly. So, yo, I'm going to take full advantage of having this substitute up. I'm going to spam Focus Punch as much as I can. This seemed to be like a bulky Luminion set because it had Whirlpool, right? So Whirlpool's not going to break my sub. Raichu's got some, you know, it's got some reasonable special defense, and, you know, Luminion isn't exactly what you call the hardest hit here. So that is the end of Luminion at the moment. So Raichu is having a field day at the moment. Out comes a Volbeat the Sodden. Oh, all right, we've got a bit of a problem here. I can't do donkeys to this Pokemon. Plus, it can outspeed me with its ability too. So I thought maybe if we go into Electrode the Sodden and then go for an explosion. So Volbeat's going to get that special attack, drastic special attack rise. I've got Explosion. I know that I can outspeed it unless it's like, I don't know, like a prankster move. And I'm thinking this should do some pretty good damage here. Will it take it out? It was close, but it wasn't quite enough. So that's the end of the exploding Electro. They're going to use Bug Buzz. It's a full-on special set. So I need to make sure I can get rid of this thing. So I thought, all right, we'll go into Toxel. I've got a Sash. I mean, even I can go for Endeavor or Flail actually will be enough to take it out. So it's got to use Thunder, probably predicting that I had Focus Sash or Endeavor or something like that. It still took me down there because this thing is hindering in special defense with 0 IVs, I think, or low IVs. And that's the end of Volbeats, which is good. So next Pokemon is Milotic. So I thought, ooh, I can use Endeavor against this. This will be really, really good. And then if it gets paralyzed, I can use Flail or Nuzzle. That'd be nice. This has Terra Ghost too, if you're curious. It gets around like Fake Out and Extreme State. So I got very, very lucky with that because Milotic got paralyzed again, and they're going to finish it off with the Nuzzle, which is good. I guess Nuzzle was fun to put on there in case I come across special attack, mainly special attacking Pokemon. All right, so we had Zangoose coming out here. I was like, this could be a problem if it sets up on me, but I guess I could always go Flail. They're going to have Quick Attack, so that's bad. That's the end of my Toxel. And the item it's going to have is a Toxicorp, so I can't paralyze this at all. I was like, damn it. So I'm thinking into myself, maybe if I get a Sweet Kiss off here, I can try that. So Quick Attack just demolishes Raichu as well, so it's got Toxic Boost. I was like, oh, shoot. We're gonna need to take this out lickety split ride. This is gonna destroy our team. So I thought, let's go into like people like to call this Bellibolt. I don't know, like they like to call this instead of Bellibolt. People like to call it Bellibolt in my community, like Bennybolt. So I don't know why they do it for, but they just do, right? So now it's gonna go for a fling, and it's gonna fling Toxicol, which is bad because that's gonna badly poison Bellibolt. So I've got Soak and I've got Parabolic Charge. So I thought maybe I'll get the Soak going and then maybe try Confuse Ray. But I just went for Confuse Ray straight up. I was hoping that Zangoose would hit itself because it would do a lot of damage. That would be, kind of nice. So Zangoose probably has a couple of turns left. It's going to die to its own poison. That's it. I guess that's really one of the drawbacks about having Toxic Boost. But usually by that time, you've done so much damage to the opponent, it doesn't matter. So Zangoose is going to be swapping out. I don't blame them there. I think I've hit them in Confusion or Paralyzed quite a few times already. And then we have the unit Bastidon coming in here. So I can't do a lot to Bastidon in terms of damage whatsoever. I've got Soak and I've got Parabolic Charge. And I don't think I'm going to be able to paralyze this at all. So I'm thinking if I go Soak, I go Parabolic Charge, I might be able to keep myself alive for a little bit longer. So we're going to Soak that Bastidon, give it a nice watering. And it's going to transform into the water type. It's got power gem, so it's a special attacking set. Bellibolt's got a lot of bulk to it already, but the toxic damage is really starting to rack up here. But I thought if I keep spamming Parabolic Charge, I might be able to live like an extra turn or two. So I got super effective damage, but it really wasn't a lot. It really wasn't a lot of damage there to Bastardon at all. Now it's going to use Metal Burst. So Metal Burst is going to do only a little bit more than Power Gem, but with Toxic, I'm almost fainted. So this is going to be my very, very last turn. Now, I did actually contemplate going for Confusion Ray before I fainted, but I was like, nah, I'll get some damage, you know. I better do that. I don't want to get too greedy and then, you know, the Bastardon, you know, doesn't hit itself for Confusion. You know, that'd be very bad. So, it's going to use Metal Burst again, and that is the end of Bellibolt. Metal Burst is a cool move, for sure. So, I've got 2 more Pokemon left. So, I've got Zapdos, and I thought, well, since it's a water type, this is free real estate. So, I can go for... you know, Dual Wing Beat, at least I can hit this for neutral, or Supercell Slam. So, like, let's go for Supercell Slam. However, we've got Bastardon swapping out. Now, the next Pokemon to come in is going to be Hydrapple. Hydrapple hadn't taken, you know, crazy damage, but it nearly had lost around half its health. So I thought, you know, maybe I could get a bit more damage on it with this, but I was like, nope, it didn't do anything. We're going to swap that out. So swapping that out and going into Ampharos. I really needed, actually at this stage, I needed Ampharos to maybe try and sweep here. Here comes a Outrage. I'm like, holy smokes, that did a lot of damage. So I've got Meteor Beam, and that's it. I can't set up agilities. I know that Zangoose has got quick attack as well, which there's no way I can take any more damage here. So I thought, if I go Meteor Beam, get the special attack boost, that should be enough to take it out. And if it's not, I'll lock myself into probably Supercell Slam, and at least that'll hit like every one of the remaining Pokemon. So I'm going for that Meteor Beam there on the Hydrapple, and that's going to take it out, which is good. I guess just purely because of that high base power and Ampharos. Ampharos has a good special attack too. So we got Bastardon the Sleepy coming out. Go. Bastardon's eyes are open. How is a Bastardon the Sleepy? Come on. So I'm going to go for Thunderbolt on this. That's going to be nice and neutral. No Quick Claws, no Focus Bands, none of that sort of trolling stuff. So that's the end of Bastardon. Now the last Pokemon is Zangoose. Now we know that Zangoose has got a deadly quick attack, toxic boost. Ampharos has reasonable bulk, but I don't know. I wasn't really sure, but I've got Thunderbolt here. I know that's going to be able to take it out easy, and I've got Zapdos. So here comes the quick attack. It doesn't quite take me out. It was very, very close, and Thunderbolt will easily take out Zangoose. I don't know if there was actually a Terror there. Anyway, a really cool battle. Hope you people enjoy this one. I'll catch you tomorrow for some more vids. Peace out.